Heihachi Mishima from Tekken. What's up, everyone? Let's take a fairly quick look at Heihachi Mishima from Tekken 8. This is the only time that I've seen him on, action figure form. I do have Kazuya, but I never saw Heihachi out in the stores until I was at a Ross. I saw pictures of other people seeing him there. And so when I saw him, I picked him up. But here he is, front of the box. He does come with a little ready thing that you see at the beginning of a match. Tekken, Heihachi, game dimensions. Here's the side with the art of Heihachi. Again, there's Tekken. Here's the back. Game dimensions again. This is from Tekken 7. A picture of the figure and some images from the game. Some legalese. All more legalese here on the bottom. And Tekken on the side. Game dimensions at the top. But yeah, let's check them out. Here we have Heihachi out of the box. So here's the figure, the little ready thing. When the match is getting ready to start, comes with the little stand for the little sign, his fighting effect, and alternate right open palm and alternate left fist. What's also nice is you do get a nice little background that you can use, or backdrop that you can use if you want to do some photos with Heihachi. All right, let's take a look at his articulation. Since this is basically produced by Bandai, and just kind of looking at the figure, it reminds me a lot of the Dragon Stars line with the Dragon Ball Z figures and all the other anime heroes. The articulation looks to be about the same. With his head, it'll swivel and it looks up a little bit, not a lot. It can look down, all right, but I will tell you that this neck joint is kind of a pain. As you can see already, just moving it around, it's not even lined up. Kind of have to put the head down a little bit, and there's his neck. So, yeah, just kind of be aware of that. But he does have plenty of tilt. The arms will go all the way around, and it doesn't really have a butterfly joint, but you can get it out. You see the joint here. There is a little bit of movement, but not much. It'll come in, even though it does look like it has a double elbow joint. It basically stops when the forearm hits the bicep. The hands will rotate and will move in and out. And if you twist it just right, it can go up and down as well. The waist will swivel. There's a little bit of an ab crunch and much better back bend. You see there is the joint right here where the ribs and the lower part of the upper body, the abs, meet, but not much going forward. The legs can come down with the drop down hip. So the leg will kick up about this far, comes out pretty much all the way. You can do full splits, and back, not really much at all. The double knee joint goes more than 90, and the feet will go down a little bit, up some, and it can pivot and also rotate. So Heihachi stands at about close to 6.5 inches to the top of his head, to the point of his hair a little bit more than 6.5. Here he is standing next to Grand Admiral Thrawn from Star Wars Black Series, Ahsoka, and Tommy Oliver from Power Rangers. Here he is standing next to Storm Arena Street Fighter Alpha 3 Ryu and Jada Toys Street Fighter 2 Ken Masters. Which is kind of funny because I always thought in the Tekken games, they always made Heihachi seem really tall. And really, he's only about 5'11, which is almost, 6 feet. And I just thought he was bigger than that. I believe both Ryu and Ken are about 5'9. So you can actually have them in doing a Street Fighter Cross Tekken. That was a fun game, and it was kind of cool seeing characters from both brands. And here he is standing next to Ultra Instinct Goku and Kazuya. You could definitely see that Heihachi and Kazuya are towering over Goku. So even though they're basically produced by the same company, uh, they don't really scale well with each other. And here we have Heihachi in a pose using his effect piece that he came with. Apparently, but the Game Dimensions did make King, which I'll put it up in this video. Um, Again, another figure I didn't see. I didn't even know that he was produced. It would have been nice if they would have done more, because some of my favorite figures would be like Paul Phoenix and more martial law. And I do like some of the other figures. Now I know Storm Collectibles produced quite a few Tekken figures, and even SH Figure Arts started doing some of them. But for the price point, I kind of liked these since I did have Kazuya already, and I wanted to get Heihachi, but I guess those are the only two that I'm going to get. Now, if Storm Arena made some of these Tekken figures, then I would be down buying some, because the Storm collectible figures, those are more along the lines of the Todd McFarlane size figures. They're 7 inches and up. And most of my figures are around the 6 inches, maybe a little bit bigger, but they're closer in size to each other than 7 inches. And trying to have, you know, Ryu fighting, Blanca from Storm Collectibles, it just wouldn't look right. Blanca would look huge compared to a 6 inch figure. But Storm Arena, which is very, basically the same company as Storm Collectibles, uh, their figures are more in line with true 6 inch, and price point is also better. Their Storm Arena figures are closer to being what I would say a good price compared to Storm Collectibles, which can get pretty expensive, uh, anywhere from 80 to over 100, depending on the figure. I mean, they come with a lot of accessories and whatnot, but yeah, I just want to try and stick with the real 6-inch figures. Well, before he falls, if he does fall, he can do a standing side kick pretty good. Um, yeah, I thought he was going to fall because usually a lot of figures will fall with this turntable. I don't know why, but he's doing a good job. He hasn't fallen yet. This is my first attempt at have him doing this, so I'm pretty proud that he is staying up. So is Heihachi worth buying? Well, if you can find them at Ross for the price that they had them, I would say yes. And if you want Tekken figures to pretty much be able to go with your other 6-inch figures, and you're not really wanting to spend a lot on the figures like the figure arts, then I would recommend getting these figures if you can find them. I'm not sure exactly how hard they are to find. I would definitely say check out Ross stores if you have them near you or relatively close to you. If you have any GameStops near you, maybe check those areas. Possibly Walmart. I don't think I've seen them at Target, but yeah, I definitely think these figures are worth the price if you find them at Ross, because I believe he was. Give me a second here. Let me find it. I think retail price he's about maybe 30. So I don't know if he's worth 30, but he was definitely worth the under $20 that I found at Ross. I forgot that I already threw away the tag, but if you can, pick him up. Well, I think it's going to do it for this video of Heihachi Mishima from Tekken. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, as you can see, I'm getting close to 1,000 subs. If you don't mind it, and if you like the content, hit the subscribe button. I would appreciate it very much. Let me know, did you pick up any of the Tekken figures from either Game Dimensions or Storm Collectibles or SH Figure Arts, or any of the older Tekken figures that were made years ago? Did you play any of the games? I started off with the very first Street Fighter game. Loved playing Street Fighter 2 and all the ones. I think I stopped at 4. And got into Tekken. Loved the different dynamics of Tekken. And I think I played up to, I don't know, maybe 6 or Tekken 7. It's been a long time. I don't quite remember, but I did love fighting games. They were great. Even tried the Street Fighter Cross Tekken game, and it was fun. But that's going to do it for me. Simo says, collect what you like. Be awesome to one another. Until the next video, I'll see you next time.